Get ready for Off the Rails Right versus Left. Host Rob B. attempts to look at both sides of every political issue, as well as draw on the historic precedent and influences in modern politics, as well as the future being built by the leaders of our time. Like, subscribe, and sit back as we dive in at Off the Rails Right versus Left.
Welcome, welcome. Hold on, let me put my ears on here. I forgot to get this switched over to my headphones. All right, can you hear me?
I could hear you before.
All right. Well, cool. We're on. It took about 8 minutes that time because YouTube was giving me fits. It didn't want to start the stream. So, all right. So we're going to talk about Candace Owens. We're going to talk about political violence and what needs to be done about it. The idea of dismantling the UN and whatever else comes up, because it is called Off the Rails. So we're guaranteed to go off the rails at some point. And I'm
hopefully with less cursing.
Rob Brown.
Go down on Brown.
Get down with Brown. Not go down on. Crazy.
Off the rails,
mate. So, anyway, so you're going to have to fill me in on Candace, because I actually spent my day knocking on doors, talking to voters. So I really wasn't watching what was going on.
I don't watch Candace because she's gone a little loopy, but she's on this weird conspiracy about how Utah has the beehive as their state flag, and they just recently changed it just before Charlie Kirk died. If you pull up Candace Owens' latest video, they had a whole thing about it on Steven Crowder today. But she's one flew over the cuckoo's nest, bro. And if it's got 2 million views. You should be able to pull it up on Rumble.
So did it change again? Because they changed it back in 2024.
What do you mean?
The Utah flag became the beehive in 2024.
Oh, it was the beehive way before then, but they did some stupid changes to it. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah, like presidential seal before.
Yeah. Now it's just that they got rid of the eagle and the flag. Now it's just a beehive.
Yeah.
But yeah, the state thing has always been the beehive. Even their state highways have a beehive for the state highways. So
I don't know. It looks like this is the 4th flag for Utah, so I don't get the problem.
oh,
Or 5th.
you know, the thing is, let's see. Hold on here. Crowder on Candace slash.
So I just don't know what it has to do with Charlie Kirk since they did it a year ago. It was adopted March of 2024.
That's the thing is she had she went down some fucking.
Oh, do I even want to know?
That was 2 years ago. She's talking about somebody that was related to a school in Utah that was by where Charlie was assassinated. Shoot, you know what?
Like, I don't get the point. That's my thing. I just don't get the point. What's it got to do with anything?
Neither do I. Here, I'm gonna. Steven Crowder broke it down. Well, Steven didn't, but Gerald Morgan did. Hold on. I'll take you to it. Let's see.
There are so many different lines.
Okay, so if you go to
terrorism, I'll give you a couple of examples here. So this good stuff, and they have some kind of weird stuff. All right.
Okay, so
You said it's Crowder?
yeah, if you go to Steven Crowder
Together,
today,
and if does anybody else see how this is a problem? Right? Can we do better? Can we make sure?
so it's like
I just President Trump has shown. And be the cultural reference when you're trying to say you're the best. Well, that's why they're flocking there. This guy keeps selling it as some kind of reality for the last 3 years. It's interesting that we say knives because you guys are pansies and
so
don't
first he's talking.
a document.
He's talking about the mayor in London.
For this, a number further location where there is you basically saying the concern about public.
And I was going something
Okay, so if you go to
off the rails.
there at first.
okay, so if you go to Crowder's,
Enter Candace Owens.
they are
I just need the minute. I'm already on
okay.
it.
So it is 15 minutes 55 seconds. Gerald Morgan
15? 1-5?
1555. So it's like right at the beginning. The first 15 minutes are about the mayor of London and how he's a Muslim, progressive, super fucking liberal fucktard who runs London now, and he thinks he's a great mayor.
Okay.
Even though there's a bunch
this
of
is the Steven
staff.
Crowder channel, but this isn't Steven.
No, that's Gerald C. Morgan. Steven's out today. He's doing a change my mind about the left is violent.
All right, cool. Well, let's see what he's got to
She
say.
is coming out with another theory, because I thought at first she was hinting, if not overtly saying, potentially that the Jews had something to do with this because they were pressuring Charlie Kirk and didn't like the stance that he was taking, that there was money involved. And then why is Netanyahu saying this stuff about Charlie Kirk? He didn't know them. They weren't friends. But now she started with this legitimate concern about public schools and then quickly went off the rails.
There at first
He
was
said our
an
show.
elementary school shooting that happened
Yeah,
at a Catholic
we should
school.
sue her for
and
stealing
I
our
was
thing.
just concerned in a way that I had never felt so impacted, and I was going, something isn't right. Something is just not right, and I felt that there was some sort of an infiltration that was happening.
really?
at
Yes, it was a school
school.
shooting.
I did just a cursory online search, and some messages I found, which were not written by a teacher at the school, but someone who was adjacent to some teachers at the school.
Where are they?
Gave me
adjacent.
cause for
Ow.
concern. In fact, explicitly what it was
Bus driver.
was a Polish underground symbol, like a Polish communist underground symbol that nobody would have recognized outside of people who know what it meant. And I
She
just
gonna
was
show
like,
us?
okay, that's weird.
Yeah, that's what I was
kept looking
asking.
Online, and strangely, I'm not kidding, and I'm going to show you these messages. I came
Here come
across
the receipts.
what looked to me like a bunch of people
What happened to her?
talking about bees.
Okay.
Do you think that all these people are really actually?
She went from being so
quote-unquote
serious to
bee
this?
farmers,
Yeah.
or saying
It's called
that
a
they
beekeeper.
farm
Yeah.
bees.
There's a
what
movie
is
about
this
it.
lingo that I'm not understanding? Why do I feel like it's related to students? I didn't feel good about it at all. There is some weird underground, it's like I sense like imminent danger is coming, and for some reason I feel like there is an underground that has emerged at schools, and it's like related to bees. That's what I said, and I messaged multiple people about this. My sister. Here are a couple.
Okay. All I have to say is that chick has just officially lost me on her old Brigitte Nielsen thing.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. This
Or
woman
Brigitte, no,
is...
Brigitte Macron.
Yeah. Dude.
I'm not
What?
saying that she had me there, but I'm.
No, dude, no. If you
And
continue
that-
to play it, you will understand like what is going on. No, like really, what is going? How is this woman pulling 2 million views on this shit? Like, and I know it's kind of hard to follow with Crowder
No
laughing at her.
answers whatsoever.
No. By the way,
Great
she doesn't.
receipts.
She doesn't typically post text messages, guys. So this is abnormal behavior.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can look at the time frame here. This
Sure.
is 8:30, August 30th. I am not
Proof.
someone who normally publicizes text messages. I just said, there's imminent danger coming. Okay?
9
It
days
is
prior.
relating to a school. I think it's a communist underground, and I don't know why, but it has something to do with bees. Totally sensible thing to say to your husband.
Yeah, totally
She-
sensible
she-
thing to say to your husband. Yeah, if you're crazy, marry Todd
If
Lincoln.
you watch Josh, he ends up with a fucking. He ends up with a tinfoil hat on, and he's sitting there eating honeycombs and dipping his honeycombs into honey.
So does she not know that the honeycomb is on Utah state flag because that's been like their main industry for like 200 years?
Oh, she tries to tie it into Mormons and fucking worker bees and shit, dude. It's ridiculous.
I mean, we do know about socialists and their worker bees.
I
and
don't know
all
what that means.
She
By the
tries
way,
to
was it
tie it
a
into
crossing guard, or is
communism.
it
It's a
somebody
bus
that lived
driver.
within 5 miles, and that's as far as a bee can fly in 5 minutes?
It's a lunch lady. She ran out of honey.
Yes, yes. I don't understand where she's going with all of this. This is precisely what I am talking about. Case closed. There it is. That's the kind of stuff that makes you go, how did you get from obviously a tragedy in a school shooting? They were talking about bees. If somebody adjacent was saying something about this, and then the Polish underground symbol that you don't show anybody, and then receipts that aren't receipts that are just your text messages to somebody else. You could have like ravings in the middle of the night texting people, and people like, hey, lay off the Zoloft or something like that, and you just remove any sense. But she went a step further and tried to connect the bees, the Mormons come into the picture, and the state of Utah to Charlie's murder.
Charlie lost his life, and a few days later, I was told, and I sensed instantly that there was like a hive of people that were involved.
A
in this.
hive?
I just knew it would happen. I just went, oh my
It's-
goodness.
What?
And my gut is telling
She's
me.
dressed like a bee.
Watch, bro. This is hilarious.
Oh my God!
She is dressed like a
She's
bee.
the
I'm not
bee.
a flag person at all.
Who's a
And then
flag
someone told
person?
me, and I was astonished that
Sam.
Utah recently,
Fair.
extraordinarily, did modernize their bee flag.
Which was always a bee flag.
That the Utah state flag is a hexagonal beehive, right?
Huh.
And I mean,
Okay. Somebody needs to check on Candace. Is she okay? That's
Don't-
weird.
She's not in a dark place. Her husband is.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to
Crazy, bro.
say about that. That was just,
What?
bro. I'm down for a conspiracy theory as much as the next guy. They can be entertaining, but that one's just like, she just sounds like she just like got into the
Like
crazy
how-
sauce.
How did her receipts go from the George Floyd type of receipts that she did with the whole
Right?
George Floyd to this? Like, I'm like, come on, Candace, you're losing me, bro. Whatever happened between you and the
she
Daily
really,
Wire screwed you up.
yeah, I mean, I guess she needed the research team at the Daily Wire to sound sane.
It seems
Well, but
like
if you think about it, before Candace went out on her own, she had a failed thing at like PragerU, and she had a failed thing, and she kept like failing on all the stuff she was doing, and then all of a sudden she was conservative and on the Daily Wire. So,
yeah,
like, maybe she's like almost as like thirsty for fame as that Tuck boy that ruined Buzzweiser.
yeah, could be. But what happened to him?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna say his name because I don't need him like blowing up even more.
I don't even remember his name.
So, anyways, that's crazy. Yeah, she's lost her freaking mind now, or maybe she never had it. I don't know. She did so good with the George Floyd investigation.
Yeah, well, we played it on this channel, and if you guys want, you can go back and check it out. You can see the whole thing.
Yep, it was long enough ago that the boys over there at Daily Wire let us keep it on their channel.
Yeah, yeah. The Daily Wire is all about. That's one thing you could say about the Daily Wire. They don't copyright anybody.
No, they do in the first little bit. We had a couple that were pulled because of that.
We did interrupt quite a bit during that too. So
yeah. Wow, that was insane. Thanks, Louder with Crowder crew, because good Lord.
I encourage everybody to watch Steven Crowder and the Mug Club. Sign up with Rumble Premium to get that stuff too. Because
obviously, I haven't followed anything she did. The only thing that I really watched that was hers was the BLM documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see her occasionally on clips.
Yeah, and it's usually somebody making fun of her.
Yeah, so, and I don't know that she wants to take the hit for that lawsuit because she went diving after somebody's conspiracy theory. I don't know what she could have possibly seen that made her believe it. But now, since I know she'll even buy a beehive conspiracy about a state that always had a beehive on their flag.
They get more into depth about it. It's great. Like I said, I encourage everybody to watch that. It's hilarious.
That was all I needed to know that she was crazy. Holy crap.
Her receipts are text messages that are only her texting somebody that we don't know, and there's no response. But those are receipts. That's what her viewers love. They always say Candace comes up with the receipts. But
yeah, I don't think
come up with any valuable receipts since the Black Lives Matter documentary.
Yeah, that's insane.
At least not anything that's credible that I've seen.
Anybody that's following the game scores 7-3 now. Seattle leads, and they have the ball.
And who's Seattle playing?
The Cardinals.
Can you pull that up on the... That's crazy. Well, I guess the Cardinals did just lose to San Francisco, so...
Yeah, but San Francisco's really good. Seattle lost to them by 1. Dude, they're especially good if you figure... yeah, I was just following this.
That's Yahoo?
Yeah. Well, because I didn't want to be distracted by having the game going while we were talking.
Yeah.
So if you guys are wondering why we're... If you guys are wondering, yeah, I mean, if you look at the standings over here, let me flip over here. If you look at the standings, that's in AFC. So everybody's 2-1 in the NFC West. Except for San Francisco, that's 3-0 because they've already beaten. I think they beat all 3 teams. No, I forget what their other game was, but they beat
they haven't
Seattle
played the Rams yet.
Yeah. So now that being said, that was their week 1 loss, and the quarterback hadn't really gotten any rhythm. Because Sam Darnold's new this year to the Seahawks.
Right, so they don't have Geno anymore, huh?
Yeah, so, but, they're killing it, dude. And if you guys are wondering, like, yeah, I've been in Texas for like 20 years, but I was born and raised up in Washington State, out on a little farm out there. That's where I met him in elementary school, where we were sometimes best friends and sometimes worst enemies, just kind of depended on.
And I was always a Cowboys fan, which is depressing now. So
yeah, I couldn't roll with the Cowboys because my mom was a Cowboys fan. I couldn't go along with that. Although I did like watching them win Super Bowl after Super Bowl. That was crazy.
See what Kyler Murray could do. My money is on the Cardinals.
I don't know. The top rated quarterback, not for rating, but like the metrics for like the best performing versus the defenses they played against, the best rated quarterback in the NFL after last week was actually Sam Darnold. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Seattle's
like, dude, he was a beast last week with Minnesota, or last year with Minnesota. So
Seattle is actually the favored.
Yeah. They're a lot more complete team.
At 1.5, so we'll see.
Yeah, they're a lot more complete team, and Kyler Murray really hasn't done much this year so far.
I gotta tell you though, Russell Wilson surprised me the week before last when they played the Cowboys, and it went into overtime.
Yeah, and then the next week they benched him and now they're starting their rookie.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, you got to win some games, bro.
Dude, it's not going to matter. They don't have an offensive line. If you keep letting your quarterback get killed,
well, that's like
he might have a good name every now and then. But that was the same problem he had in Seattle, is they just would not invest in the offensive line and protect him.
Yeah, that Super Bowl run, dude. He had a great offense and a great defense. That's like Dallas this year is struggling on defense, dude. Their defense just sucks.
Well, dude, but even back then during their Super Bowl run, they didn't have that great of an offensive line. What they had was Marshawn Lynch knocking everybody on their butts, so they didn't press. Because if they went in too quick, every time somebody tried to blitz them, like
Lynch would just run them
Russ
over.
would like see it. Russ would see it and like throw Lynch right at him. So not only did they not get a sack, they also got ran over by a freight train.
Yeah.
So
and they could have won that second Super Bowl, but then instead of running it with Marshawn, they threw it and it was intercepted. That was stupid.
Dude, the statistics throughout the season and through that game said Marshawn was not going to get across, especially with his back hurting, because his back was already hurting. Now, that being said, would Marshawn have figured out a way to do it? Maybe. And maybe they should have at least ran it once before they tried throwing it.
Right.
But, I mean, I get what they were trying to do. What they were thinking is they throw the pass. If it gets knocked down, time stops. They still got time to run Marshawn, and they had one timeout left so they could stop the clock again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened.
Well,
but statistically, it was a smart move, but it didn't work out. But still, if you look at their stats for the season, Russell Wilson, it was more money in the end zone than Marshawn Lynch. So,
yeah, but
like, it wasn't a dumb play call.
Well, if you're going by season,
dude, that
was a dumb play call.
No, but
I don't care what you say about statistics. When it comes down to the fucking world championship,
but the guy that caught that ball made the play of his career, and a year later he is out of the NFL. That was it. The dude got lucky, is what happened. That was nothing.
No, he made the play. He didn't get lucky. He made the play of his career. And now he's out. Luck had nothing to do with it. That man's been playing had been playing defense for quite some time before he fucking made that read.
Yeah, it only took him like 5 years of practice to finally read a play.
Well, hey, that's all it takes. And Marshawn Lynch had made how many touchdowns in his career?
Yeah, but the same player could have like stopped him. The same player could have stopped him on the goal line, and the time could have.
Yeah. Instead, what happened? They lost the game.
So now on to political violence.
Talk to me about some political violence. I hear it's coming from the right.
Yeah, well,
why is that? Why is that wrong?
Okay, but hold on. We can't play stupid like there aren't idiot right wingers that don't get what the right stands for and does violent shit.
Oh, so you mean the people that are doing?
No,
so
they're
the people,
right winger.
So the people that are doing the studies.
No. Just listen to what I'm saying on this, okay? There are people that have right-wing philosophies that go out and do crazy stuff.
But what are the right-wing
right?
philosophies?
Dude, just hear me out.
I'm just asking questions.
Dude, we're talking people that say that they like MAGA and that they're anti-immigration and whatever, but they have other things in their mind that backs up their point of views, not theatrical, logical thought through it. You get what I'm saying? Now, on the left side, their default setting is words are violence, so violence is okay. That's the difference.
There is absolutely no examples there. Give me some examples of right-wing extremism.
Hold on,
Are you going to go back to Timothy McVeigh?
No, I'm pulling up the post that I made earlier that I actually like.
And you don't remember it? You posted it earlier and you don't remember?
Dude, Timothy McVeigh worked for the CIA.
But they're saying that anti-government is right-wing extremism. Which isn't what the right wing is about. So are you going to talk about the shooter in Australia?
Actually, we've had this conversation about this before, and this is why them saying that Nazis are right wing is stupid. Because if you start at the center, a balance between government and freedom, right? Mm-hmm. So if you go more right, conservatives want less government and to keep more of our money.
So anti-government.
Okay, you go right. Yeah. Well, I mean, at least smaller government. You go to libertarian and they want almost no government. And then you go further than that. What do you get? You get anarchists, like anti-government anarchists.
So liberals are anarchists?
So when you...
So liberals and leftism are anarchists?
That's to the right. To the right. No, to the right is anarchists.
Oh, okay. And so...
You see what I'm saying? Because it gets less and less government until there is...
So, okay, you got the right. Then you got libertarians, which is further right than the right.
And they want an even smaller government and even less laws. They want everything legal if you're not
I'm trying to play devil's advocate, you idiot.
Yeah. No, so then when you go all the way, then you get anarchists. They don't want any government, let everybody...
So libertarians are more right than the right is.
Right. And there's a little bit of overlap with libertarians.
And the left?
And the left, just because the left wants bad stuff to be okay... And the libertarians say that bad stuff I'm doing is none of the government's business.
Okay, so get to the point where the right has a lot of violence.
I didn't say they have a lot. I said there are some examples, which I'm not going to bring up because I'm not glorifying a bunch of people that do shootings.
Well, nobody said you had to bring up names.
Okay. But there have been shootings where the person had supposed right-wing motivations. The difference is... people on the right never say go commit violence.
Right.
Get it?
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
So then how could that violence be right wing if the right wing denounces it? So they obviously don't believe in what the right believes in, otherwise they wouldn't be committing violence.
Why'd you ask me a question and then not wait for the answer?
Because you're just gonna push it off. Go ahead, answer.
Okay.
You can't even give me an example of right-wing violence.
Shut up!
That's the person I want running.
I know how to... Okay, I'm not giving you an example of right-wing violence, and you're not going to interrupt me again. Okay, I'm not giving examples of people that commit violence because I'm not glorifying them. And he's going to figure out to turn it on himself anyway. But no, my point is somebody can believe everything that the right believes, but then they go crazy and shoot somebody. Does that mean the right sent them to do it? No. But that's what they're calling right-wing violence, is somebody who agrees with Trump on everything and then go shoot somebody because they see him as being Trump's enemy. You get what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that the right is okay with the violence. The difference is on the left, they actually see everybody who doesn't agree with them as an enemy. They see speech as violence. And the main party, dude, Chuck Schumer was standing at a mic telling people to go after and get Kavanaugh, and then somebody did.
So you give him credit, but not the other people. Okay, I got you. I see the double standard. You just said Chuck Schumer was promoting it.
Dude, the dude that shot up the church, the dude that shot up the border station, talking about illegal immigrants. There are people on the right that do nutty crap.
What border station are you talking
now,
about?
I don't know. It wasn't a border station, but it was like
Alvarado?
a migrant. Yeah, something.
Yeah, that
like
wasn't right-wing violence.
Oh my god, dude! If you're gonna pretend that there's never been any violence on the right,
I'm not. I'm just
you're
asking
completely
for an
dishonest.
example, but you keep pushing it off.
Because I don't want to give examples.
If you can't take me saying that that's not right-wing violence and saying that I'm going to just shun everything, you're wrong.
Dude, I'm not getting into the details of anything that they're doing on either side because I'm not glorifying the stands. I'm not glorifying the positions.
Nobody should commit political violence. I'm just asking.
Great.
We can,
and that's what
within
I'm
the last
now,
8 years, we can point out many left-wing political violence. Recently,
yes,
in the
absolutely.
last 8 years,
and here's the key: half the ones that they say are right-wing are actually left-wing.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Here, I'll give you a big victim, Giffords, the Republican congressman that got shot at a mall, and a bunch of other people got shot. That was a left-winger, okay? The baseball game that got shot up, the congressional baseball game, that was a Bernie bro.
Yeah, you didn't have to go into that because now you're just glorifying them. I'm not asking for like specific examples. I'm saying recently, have we seen a lot of right-wing violence that can be proven to be right-wing violence? No, we can't.
I'm literally saying that there's not a lot of examples. Now, what you do get is like the one that happened. I just said that there are examples.
And I asked.
You're the one that keeps saying a word that never.
I was asking for the examples. You'll give the examples of the left-wing violence, but you won't give examples of the right-wing. You just said the church,
dude that shot up
the church in Australia.
The dude that shot up the mosque, the kid that shot up the church.
Because
that's two examples.
Because that was a white supremacist that shot up the mosque in Australia.
I don't know about what happened in Australia because I don't care about Australia.
That was the church that you're talking about.
No. I'm talking about the church here in this country in like Georgia or something that got shot back like 5 years ago. Okay, I'm not trying to give more details because I don't want to infamize them. You know what I mean? I'm not contributing to that. My point is, on the right, when there's violence, it's crazy people. On the left, when there's violence, it's also crazy people. The difference is their leaders tell them to do it. Their leaders are telling them to go out there and attack ICE, and they are. Their leaders go and tell them to go out and attack Charlie Kirk, and they did.
Are you talking about the Christchurch mosque?
No, Christchurch, that's the one in
New Zealand.
Australia, right?
No, that's in New Zealand.
New Zealand.
So you've got one in Sweden.
Oh my God, dude. Okay.
And
tomorrow I'll bring up episodes. I'll bring up episodes and we'll do a glory memorial for political violence.
March 15th, 2019, a white supremacist gunman sequentially attacked. But that's not
right.
here.
But the right is not actually white supremacist, but
no.
His other political leanings were towards conservative values, so they say he was a right winger. But right wingers don't believe in that. So, like, that's the difference.
Exactly. So they. Okay. Quebec City mosque shooting.
The Escondido, California shooting. The Pittsburgh synagogue. There's two.
Let's see, that's not even, and he was a Trump supporter.
The El Paso Walmart shooting. Okay, there's three. Okay, because I'm going to talk about a third one on the left now. The one that they shot the Democrat representatives.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
The dude knew them. He was a Walz appointee. He had No Kings flyers in his car because he was helping organize No King rallies.
And that guy was mentally ill.
Right, but he was registered as a Republican, and if you go and look, he registered Republican the same year the dude that tried to kill Trump was, because that was the year Act Blue told everybody to go out and register as Republicans, so you can, or go and vote in the Republican primary, so you can try and tip to the candidates that can't win. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which is what they did in Pennsylvania. That's how they got stuck with Oz instead of the other guy. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the only person, him having that one primary vote, I wonder what the rest of his votes were, because they said he voted one time in the Republican primary. Okay, that doesn't tell us anything. He wasn't a registered Republican, even though they keep saying it, because you don't register by party in Minnesota. The fact that he was already linked with these people, and what he was pissed about was they voted with the Republicans. That's what he was mad about.
But they marked that down as right-wing violence.
Yeah, but why do they mark it down as right-wing violence? Because the dude who looks to me like it was his lover, or at very least his roommate, that seemed a little flamboyant, is the one that said that he was a right-winger. Dude, as disgusting as Walz is, I can't imagine working for him. I would never work for somebody like that. There's no way.
But he was appointed by Walz, which means Walz was like, "Hey, this guy is worth something."
Exactly. There we go. So you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't take if there's 10 things that are evidence that somebody's a left winger and one thing that might be right wing, they blame it on right wing violence. That's why it's hard to sift through and actually get. That's why I don't want to sit there and list cases, because the media distorts everything, so it's hard to get the facts about the actual cases. Just like,
but it's not. It's
I think
not,
like 8 of the last 10. Eight of the last 10. Dude, 8 of the last 10 school shooters were trans, but you can't get the proof of that because they try and hide it. You get what I'm saying? And all the trans shootings, that's all.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing, Rob. The thing is they're not.
What I'm saying is the right can't.
Dude, I'm not saying
can't say that there's no violence.
I'm not the right saying that, but what I'm saying is the rise in domestic political violence is not coming more from the right than it is the left.
No, it's coming more from the left. Absolutely. Yeah, we agree 100%. It's coming from the left.
Then why isn't anything from the Summer of Love reported as political violence?
Good question. But you go look at my X feed, I've addressed it all as political violence.
I don't care about your X feed.
I'm just saying.
Let's look at your Blue Sky feed. How about that? What do you got on Blue Sky?
Zip.
What do you got on Pinterest? What do you got on Facebook? Who gives a crap about any of that? That's all propaganda.
I mean, I'm just saying that for weeks, that's arguments that I've been making. Like, and then
I'm trying to give you an argument right now.
Yeah, and on the left, their best tactic is to accidentally forget about every single instance of left-wing violence.
I don't think it's an accident.
Neither do I. I was being sarcastic.
Well, I can't tell because you just got a picture of you in a bow tie.
So, no, I don't have the bow tie on there. I'm just wearing a dark undershirt.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. I just assumed it was a bow tie.
Nope, not this time. So, so then how do we address the political violence? Frankly, arrest people that are protesting illegally. You can't block streets.
You can't tell lies on national television either and claim that you're a news source, a credible news source.
Nobody thinks Jimmy
Kimmel's
Kimmel's
what the mainstream media is. They're calling they're calling ICE the modern day Gestapo running around with masks. But then they'll sit there and say that Antifa can run around with masks all they want, and there's nothing scary about that. But if you got a government entity running around with masks on because they don't want to get doxxed, because the mainstream media will come out and dox these people, and then you got morons like Gavin Newsom trying to create bills in a state to tell federal agents, which he has no control of, that they can't do that in his state. He's full of crap.
Especially considering the California State Police, when they do raids, they also cover their faces for the exact same
I don't blame
reason.
them. I don't blame anybody, dude. Look, I wish that we would be a totalitarian fucking state right about now, because that's how we're going to get the political violence to stop. You go in, you grab you do what Putin does, and anybody that talks ill of the government entities gets thrown away into a gulag. Sorry, maybe you guys don't like that, but if you're not going to do anything to quell the political violence or to drop the rhetoric and to stop saying that the people on the right are Nazis and fascists, when all that the people on the right are saying is the people on the left are good people with bad ideas, not bad people with bad ideas, then you got a serious freaking problem.
No, so
I'm not sorry about that.
No, hold on. So the problem on the left is you have good people with bad ideas following bad people with bad ideas, telling them to do bad things
and bad intentions.
Yeah,
and they're being led by a media that's funded by the state or the federal government and have licenses to do such a thing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
think we need to take these people off the air.
Yep.
I mean, look, obviously Joy Reid and Don Lemon aren't anybody important anymore, but like, dude, they should have been gone a long time ago.
All right. And just in case you guys know, like, I guess we're getting congestion in the web here. I turned off my camera because Brad's audio freezes on my end and I can't hear him. So I turn off the video so I can actually hear him talk. So because I'm running all the streams on my end, if it gets congested, I end up not being able to hear Brad talk, even though it's going. Yeah. Well, dude, the Starlink's a beast, but like, they still need a whole bunch more satellites over Texas because there's so many people in Texas to get it, because the internet coverage is out here is like so bad, even though, you know, Biden paid what, $10 billion to not link up a single house in rural areas.
Yeah. Where'd that money go?
I don't know.
USAID.
So, but no, so the reality is there are laws against incitement, and they need to start arresting these politicians that do that, starting with Chuck Schumer, who literally called for the violence directly on a member of the Supreme Court, and everybody who was out there protesting in the front of the Supreme Court, or in front of their houses and in front of the courts, should be arrested. You cannot protest in front of a court. It's against the law because it's an attempt to intimidate the judge and the jury. So we've got the laws to stop the violence. They just don't enforce them.
But it's also hard to enforce the laws when you have judges that also are left-wing activists.
Yep, which is why maybe Congress needs to make sure that, well, I mean, the reality is Congress doesn't need to do anything. We still have laws that would make pretty much everything they're doing violations of federal law, because they're violating people's civil liberties when they're kidnapping them by blocking freeways.
Yeah, you're not giving people the freedom of travel.
But you notice the protests in Florida stay awfully peaceful and on the sidewalks, so they get shot. So,
or ran over.
Which is the point I made. And I didn't say that I wanted people to get shot or ran over. I said, if they're going to be dangerous, you need to treat them like they're a dangerous mob, which isn't play patty cake with them. And that's not saying individuals should. That's saying law enforcement should enforce the law. And the primary part of enforcing the law is to deal with public safety threats, which a rioting mob is a public safety threat. There is nowhere in the Constitution that it guarantees you a right to have a mob.
Yeah, but try and get a judge in a blue state to agree with you.
Great. So charge them
especially an activist judge.
So charge them in federal court and move them to a red state to be tried.
Yeah, but there's a lot of blue activist judges that are in the federal court system.
Yep,
which I think if one of the prerequisites of being a judge is you cannot be an activist whether it be
So what do
left-wing
you?
activists,
So what do
right-wing
you think about
activists.
this upcoming government shutdown? Between you and me, I think they should let it shut down.
Yeah, let it shut down. Let the people see that the Democrats are the reason that the shutdown happened. Dude, let it shut down. I guarantee you, your Social Security is still going to get paid. Your military disability is going to get paid. Your military retirement is going to get paid because it's happened before.
Yep. So
These are all things that don't depend on a government.
So it sounds to
being
me like
functional.
in addition to a balanced budget amendment, we need to include in that anybody that's part of a Congress that fails to pass the budget by the original deadline can't run for re-election.
I agree with that, but that's you and me. We got to
Yep,
get
well,
everybody else behind us, and
That's
I
why I'm
mean,
running for Congress, because I mean
and
the
I
bottom.
don't see a lot of other congressmen that are down for that. They just want to keep it going so they can keep their paychecks.
Mm-hmm. Well, they can keep their paychecks and fix the problems at the same time.
Well, they could probably do their freaking jobs. Pardon me, bleep that out later on in editing. They can do their stinking jobs, which is to serve the people. Every single person out there that's working and paying these congressmen salaries work at least 5 days a week.
Now, you know what the hang-up is, right? Right now with the budget? Johnson is offering a clean continuing resolution, right? Now, the Democrats should be happy because that's continuing Biden spending, because they never passed the budget for this year. So the last Congress already didn't pass the budget. That's why we keep doing these continuing resolutions. Now, that being said, Johnson promised when he became the Speaker of the House there weren't going to be any more, and there's a whole bunch more. We keep doing the same thing. Like I say, no other business gets done on the House until this budget's done. Like, forget all the investigative committees and all this, because they never do anything with the committee investigations in the House anyway.
Right.
So it's a waste of time when they could be writing a budget. Now, that being said, the reason that they're threatening a deadline is because the Democrats, in order to do a continuing resolution, want to slap on $1.5 trillion for 4 month, or not even 4 months, 10 weeks of spending. They want to strap on 1.5 trillion plus 500 billion for NPR, plus they want to free healthcare for all illegal aliens.
You mean to tell me that they want to fund NPR some more?
Yeah, but those are their three demands to pass the continuing resolution, and that's why they're just saying that's blackmail, and we're not doing. That's like blackmail. You're holding the government hostage, and we're not doing it. So if you shut down the government, that's on you guys. If all 53 of our members are voting, and 7 of your members need to vote for the continuing resolution, then you guys are the problem, not us. But I don't think the Republicans are going to be strong on the messaging, because they need to be strong on the messaging that all 53 of us are voting for this budget. 7 Democrats won't give up their blackmail
because they want to fund NPR and PBS.
No, the bigger one is they want $1.5 trillion in DEI spending. So that's what's really going on.
Okay, and that's not a good thing. None of that is good. Yeah,
but
shut it down.
But at the same time,
shut it down and blame the Democrats.
Yep. But at the same time, it was kind of created by the Republicans, because Johnson still has failed in his job of getting his caucus to pass a budget, a normal budget. He's like, oh, well, we're working through the appropriations. Well, great. You knew the deadline was coming. Why weren't you doing that earlier? And they're like, oh, well, they shouldn't have taken their August recess. No, they should have taken their August recess. They should have had it done way before August.
Yeah.
They should have gotten that done the right way when they did the first continuing resolution in February. And if the government shuts down, hey, guys, we're trying to get the Democrats to work with us to get this bill, but they're making insane demands. So until then, we've got the bill here. When they're ready to pass it, we'll
CR went through in the first place, because Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer weren't going to take the blame for having a the government shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
So and they need to just do the same thing, but
Yep.
not with a CR, but with a budget.
So they do need to do a fairness doctrine though. They need to reinvoke it. They haven't done it in a while because the concern was they were going to force Democrats onto the conservative pages or on the conservative stations and not do it on the liberal stations when liberals were in charge. Well, but all the stations are like that now. The liberal stations don't put any conservatives on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the conservative stations still have liberals on. So they need to be held accountable. They need to get fines. Whatever the max fine is every single day that they don't tell both sides of the story.
Well, and every time they tell a lie, which is every day. Every day they're lying.
Yep.
Well, it's like...
And
they were
like one of my things that I
lying
want
about all kinds of things.
One of the things that I want is if they have a program or a channel that says news in it, anything that's opinion has to be marked as opinion.
And sources need to be cited. No more of this sources close to the matter. No, I want to know who's saying it. How am I supposed to take that as trustworthy news if you're just saying a person, I hate it when the Daily Wire does it, and I hate it when MSNBC does it, and I hate it when Fox News does it, or Newsmax, or any OAN, or anybody does it.
And 90% of the
as
stuff
soon as you
reported
start,
from,
as soon as you start saying that, I automatically write it off. I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
How am I supposed to know that your source is credible if you can't tell me who the source is?
Yep.
Aren't we just going through this with Comey, right? And the person that leaked everything to the media in the first place, who said that Comey freaking signed off on the leak.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like, oh, well, we're not clear what the charges are. I'm like, you are very clear on what the charges are. You just don't want to tell the American people because you're full of shit. Sorry, the crap.
We're working on the language over here.
We're trying to be a little bit more professional for the campaign, so.
Yeah. So okay. So now the last point that we had, I mean, the bottom line is they just need to start enforcing the law. I mean, that's kind of the issue on all of these things. Is Trump isn't enforcing the law.
Besides the Candace Owens going crazy.
Yeah. No, but like with the political violence, they're not enforcing the law.
Nope.
With the whole thing with the, my brain just went off the wall.
Media malpractice.
Yeah,
they're not enforcing the
which
law.
we were talking about yesterday. Yeah, they're not enforcing the law and handing down the fines. And like they can't push to have Kimmel put off the air, but every time he lies about a news story, they can be fined. That's in the law.
Yep. Which is why Sinclair and Nexstar pulled him.
Yeah. So, but Trump still didn't enforce the law and impose those fines. And there is process. There is a process of a certain number of warnings to pull their licenses. He needs to start doing it. Every single one of the, like CNN, they're cable. They can do whatever they want.
Right.
They don't have
funded by the federal government. Yeah, they don't have licenses.
They don't have it. Yeah, they don't have a broadcast license. ABC News, CBS, NBC, all those stations have broadcast rules that they have to follow.
Like Don Lemon and Joy Reid, they can go out and espouse all the BS, DEI is good propaganda that they want because now they're not, well, even before they were cable. So
yeah, I still think there needs to be a law that if you're purporting to be news when it's opinion, you have to state its opinion.
I would agree.
Because I'm not saying I don't think I'm not saying newscasters shouldn't have an opinion. I'm just saying that if they're saying an opinion, they can't say it's fact.
Right, like George Scarborough and fucking...
And they can't say that something anonymously reported is factual.
Nope.
Because all they can say is...
sources close to...
Oh, yeah. All they can say is it's been suggested by somebody who isn't confident enough in what they're saying to reveal who they are. So take it with a grain of salt.
Right. So like when we were in school and we were doing reports and we were doing like actual studies or whatever, we had to cite our sources.
Mm-hmm.
And if we couldn't, you got docked for it. Right. So it's ridiculous. I mean, how are we in school probably not anymore, because now they're using AI to do their shit. How were we back in back then required to cite our sources, but the news wasn't? Do you remember back when the news was like, I can't run this because I can't give an anonymous
Yeah, they had
source.
to have like they had to have like 2 or 3 verifiable sources, and they don't do that anymore.
Right. And why? I believe that started with Obama, didn't it?
No, it started with Watergate. They broke a huge story with one unnamed source,
Which ended up being a bunch of BS anyways.
Yeah,
That
it was all
Nixon
set up
didn't
meant to
even
get
have
Nixon
anything
out
to
of
do with it.
office. Yeah.
It
And
turns
for-
out he
and
had
for-
nothing to do with it.
Yeah, let's see here. We had Ford foresaw on him because they like took out Spiro from the vice presidency. They forced Ford into the vice presidency, and then they took out Nixon, who is the last. He was the most popular. It was the biggest margin of victory in an election since like the Great Depression,
Yeah.
and they took him out step by step. So that's what that was about. Kind of funny that, what was it? Woodward was a CIA agent, and then suddenly he was like a main reporter for the news. Yeah, whatever. So,
Well, and,
yeah,
who was that? Who was that general under Reagan? He was supplying weapons to the Contras and taking the
oh
money.
yeah, I
and
don't know.
getting it out.
I know what you're talking about. The Iran Contra scandal. Yeah.
What was his name? American Dad had a whole thing about him, and then he ended up being a contributor to Fox News. Gosh, who was that? I'll find out.
Well, he's looking that up. The game's 14-3 now. Seattle's up.
Oh, go Seattle. Ollie North.
Oliver North. Yeah, that's right. All right. So how about the UN? I'm pretty
Get rid of
simple. I'm pretty simple. International organizations do not work, period. Stop funding them.
When you can't even get an escalator or a teleprompter to work,
Yeah.
you're pretty much useless.
Oh, crap.
That's my thoughts on it. So,
My pen exploded.
oh, nice. Mine too, but it's only got white ink.
So let's see.
But we're coming up on an hour, so I'd say
Yeah,
we did pretty darn good.
I wanted to share on this Detroit thing.
What about Detroit?
Hold on.
What is Marshall Mathers doing now?
So no, it has nothing to do with Marshall Mathers.
You know, he's
So I-
actually not. He's not really a bad guy. His politics suck, but he's done some pretty good stuff for kids in Detroit, or at least for the kids that are around him. His ex-wife.
So
her
you know
sister or
when
something
we
like
can start.
that. He actually
you know-
adopted her daughter.
You know when we can start doing international aid and stuff? When we don't have neighborhoods in our country that look like this.
Oh, so we need internal nations, right? Internal nation building. Yeah, because those houses were probably what? Those were like considered mansions in Detroit. Like now you could probably those houses probably go for $2,000.
Yeah.
But who wants to buy a house in those neighborhoods? What's the demographic of those neighborhoods where you saw those houses?
I don't even care. Like if we've got people living on the street in houses that look like that, we have no business giving money to other countries because we haven't taken care of ours yet.
Yeah, no.
And we're $40 trillion in debt. We can't afford to do both.
How did those houses get that way? Because those houses didn't look like that just happened overnight.
No, it's years of neglect. Now that's Democrat leadership.
But I know, but yeah, it's Democrat leadership. Why did people leave those houses in the first place?
Yeah, because
Like
the jobs left.
Those were somebody's dream homes.
The jobs left because of
What jobs?
manufacturing, steel, cars,
Okay.
Mexico, Canada, China. That's why that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, we've got veterans without houses and houses that could be fixed to house veterans. We've got homeless people all over that need a place to live and drug treatment and maybe job rehabilitation. So why are we sending money to other countries when we got problems in our own country?
Especially when it would take little amounts of money to fix up those houses, and you could turn some of those houses into, like you said, drug rehabilitation centers, mental health facilities for people that shouldn't be on the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could you, if I would say that I was crazy just to live in a mental facility like that. I mean, come on. But you're right. Yeah, we shouldn't be spending money internationally when we have our own here. We don't even have we're slowly turning into a third world country.
Yeah.
Some of these cities are third world cities. Like, especially those places that you showed in Michigan that were once thriving metropolises are now basically third world shitholes. And I don't apologize for that curse word.
Nope.
Like, look at that. Is that a whole apartment complex right there? All right. The one on the right. Nope. Go back.
Are you talking about this one?
Okay. So you just switched there. That one. Where is that?
Detroit.
Okay. So that's in Detroit. And that probably housed what? 10,000 people at one time?
And if you look where they're tearing it down, people's stuff is still there. Like whole apartment blocks just abandoned.
Yeah, they had to leave because why? There was no job. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Look at that. Come on now. We had Trump renovate a whole hotel in New York that had been there for hundreds of years. Right? And they were just going to give it up because New York couldn't afford to fix it.
Yeah. So how about we get rid of HUD? Get rid of the Department of the Interior and focus all the money into saving these old buildings and relocating the veterans that need homes?
Yep.
And the homeless? This is just one city.
They don't want to be homeless.
This is a castle.
Yeah. There's no reason for that.
Like, it's crazy.
Like,
one city.
What are they selling them for? But the problem is where they're located.
Like $20,000. Well, no. So, but okay. So, one, we gotta arrest criminals and put them in jail. Okay. The second part of it is, when people are without hope, you've got to give them something to hope for. And you're not going to get somebody living on the street to have hope of getting clean when their life is misery. You know what I mean? Yeah. So instead of FEMA spending billions of dollars rebuilding mansions that idiots built in California on hills where they know that there's earthquakes, landslides, and fires, maybe FEMA should be fixing up these houses for people that need homes.
Yeah, and maybe California should relax on some of their regulations for getting permits to build in California.
Oh, dude, that's a big thing for me. Is people not being allowed to do what they want to do on their own land. Zoning has to be in the public interest, and California's long since abandoned the public interest.
Yeah, no, they're ecologically.
No, it's not even in the ecological because
Well,
I mean,
they're trying to save smelt that can't fucking swim, like the Delta smelt.
yeah, and you know how much
Like,
Delta smelt there is? You can just go out there and dip them by the hundreds.
yeah, it's ridiculous. They're not endangered like the beluga whale or the humpback whale or.
Well, and all you need is fish ladders, anyways. They've already long since proven that the populations do better with fish ladders than they do with the natural river.
Yeah, that's how the salmon get around dams.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing. They're trying to tear down all the dams on the Columbia River, even though the salmon population is higher than it was when they started monitoring it.
Yeah, and that's also producing energy. So
yeah,
blows my mind.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of that stuff, like I wouldn't even say like we send some of that stuff to the States. I'd say, hey, okay, great. We got the Army Corps of Engineers that need keep practicing their construction. So let's disperse the housing funds to the Army Corps of Engineer and let them repair these buildings where they can be. Now, the ones that haven't had windows for 20 years, probably nothing left to save. But, you know, we can do something more than, I don't know, go build houses in countries that we never had any business being in to begin with. I don't know. There's just better. We need to cut all. We need to cut all the spending, and we need to do stuff that actually helps Americans with the spending. And somebody in Texas shouldn't be paying to repair somebody's mansion in California. Somebody in Ohio should not be paying to repair somebody's house here in Texas. And somebody in Ohio shouldn't be paying to repair somebody's house in Florida. Doesn't make any sense. But all of that money, how much do we give to the UN now?
If it's $1, it's too much.
$29 billion. How many apartments could we have made for homeless veterans with $29 billion?
We wouldn't have homeless veterans.
There you go.
And we'd still have leftover for the homeless that don't want to be homeless. Right? Because there's a lot of homeless people out there that want to be homeless or just really don't care. They just want to get high and live.
Well, and the reality is, all right, so let's see. Here's another $100 billion. Cut off all foreign aid. There's $100 billion to build a whole bunch of live-in facilities for drug addicts to get them clean and keep them there until they're clean for a year.
And to help the mentally unstable. You don't have to. We don't have to make asylums great again.
Well, no, a lot of the drug addicts are actually self-medicating people that would have been in asylums.
Right.
So I'm kind of saying, yeah, asylums of a year of getting treated and find out what the real problems are and get them off the drugs, because sending them to like 3 weeks of rehab isn't going to get them clean. They need to be locked down for a year to where they're completely detoxed and completely past the compulsions.
Right. And then address the root cause.
Yeah, but that $99.8 billion would pay for that easily.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to, we don't have to, okay, so asylums got a really bad name because some doctors were doing some really terrible things to people in the asylums, which is why they got closed down in the first place, right? So, like, the government provides medical care for veterans, right? Who have mental instabilities, but they're not holding them in the VA unless they're like can't fucking contribute to society.
No, but
or a danger to themselves, right? but they're not treating them super terribly, right? So what we can find a way to where our doctors are not treating these patients and using them as like guinea pigs like they were back in the day,
Yeah,
giving them
there's ways
lobotomies and stuff.
there's ways of monitoring electronically now to keep that from happening.
Right.
And then,
So
but you mentioned the VA. My dad fought for like 20 years to get into a lockdown inpatient facility where he'd be locked up for a year so he could get completely sober. Took him like 20 years to finally send him to one. They sent him to one he never drank again.
yeah, that's what happened with me.
Why did one of our veterans that had lost control because of what he went through have to wait 20 years to get the help he needed?
Right. He shouldn't have. And that was the failing of our government, who was more concerned about taking care of.
They were more concerned
People-
about sending condoms to the Congo.
Yes, exactly. And who gives a crap about if they want to mass reproduce or have sodomy with other guys in the Congo? What do I care? Those people are not flying over to America to spread any nasty funkness to us.
Yeah, that's
If
not
they
what it
can't-
was
if
for.
they
It was
can't-
to-
If they can't afford condoms.
that's not what it's for. You got to remember Bill Gates' words. You know, as we modernize, we'll get the population down. That's all. That's all the left cares about. That's why
But they
everything.
use it as AIDS prevention.
Yeah, but everything they do is really about cutting the population,
Mm-hmm.
pushing drugs that are bad for you, pushing food that's bad for you, pushing.
Easy now, you're going to get us kicked off YouTube.
Not anymore. You didn't see the story about YouTube. We'll talk about that another
Oh,
day.
well, yeah, and that's not, who knows what they're going to do. Just because they wrote a letter to Congress saying something doesn't mean anything.
No, I think on the internet censorship, the tide has turned, and that's why they made Blue Sky.
Well, yeah, that's exactly. Well, because they were like,
Dude,
oh,
Google's
but
admitting
X
it.
still allows
YouTube's
the same
admitting it.
things. X still allows the same stuff that was done on Twitter before, but now it's from both sides, and that's what got them all butthurt because the truth was actually coming out and more people agreed with the truth.
Twitter still does censorship. I'm a congressional candidate, and they keep turning off the exposure on my posts.
Well, I mean, is it Twitter or is it X? Or is it Twix?
X Twitter.
That's why I said Twix.
Yeah.
Phil Labonte says that.
Dude,
He's
I liked
a
it
lot.
when it was. That's why I liked it when it was Twitter, because it was like, okay, so if you're on Twitter and you're sending tweets, does that mean you're a twit? Most of the people were.
And most of the stuff that come out of your mouth is coming out of a twat.
Oh goodness, you took it too far. Anyway, well, it's been a good chat, guys. So busy day again tomorrow, and then this weekend, gonna be out talking to voters over in Leon County and
Everybody should be
Madison
down in
County.
Leon County with you.
yeah. So got the campaign volunteers hitting the road with me over the weekend. So that's gonna be awesome. So and then we got volunteers starting to work on other areas in other counties. So it's pretty cool. So anyways, you guys, thanks for watching us and watching our chit chats and even dealing with it when we went off the rails, especially this guy over here. You know. So anyway, we had a Twitch. You need to get rid of all these freaking spammers. It's ridiculous. Like, you guys don't know. Come on. Anyway, well, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you guys. We'll see you tomorrow, maybe Saturday. Although Saturday we're both going to be out late because it's going to be long drives back home. So thanks for watching us. We'll see you. Well, I'll try and get on at least a little bit tomorrow, and we'll see if Brad ends up being available. I'm sure he wants to spend Friday night with his family since we're going out campaigning. Anything you want to say? Any last words, Brad?
Nope, just keep it real and clean and get down with Brown.
District 10, Texas. Go.